Hello, my name is Creostix, and welcome to Rally Sport, an MS-DOS game from 1990 something, and it's a very it's a classic rallying game from my childhood that I found from an abandonware site recently, and I'm like, hey, I want to do a let's play of this. So indeed, let's do this. So it's a five lap races, difficulty standard. And you can do these races on day and night time as well. But let's at least start out with the daytime, and let's hope that the sounds are okay. It seems they are. Clank, hi, hello. I am doing the modernest video game you've ever seen, and we are going to race like the wind. Cool. So, indeed, I'm more familiar with the tracks in the first half, so I might do better in these ones. So there can be a lot of differences in how much better or worse than the AI I am, because I feel it's a little let's say uneven in or well, my skill level is a little uneven in which track is my forte and which is not. So such modern, very race, so car, yes, absolutely, wow. Yeah, like this is like you could just super call this like Colin McRae Rally 2021 and no one would know the difference. It's fine. I feel it would just super just go, you know, through. No one would be the wiser. Yeah. Okie dokie. So let's see here. I'm again trying to get used to the surfaces here because they do behave a little differently under the wheels. Like the controls are really simple, but the difficulty comes especially in the jumps, because whenever you jump, there's a pretty good chance of rolling the car if you're even a little bit at an angle into it. And the other part is, if you just go full throttle into everywhere, you'll often end up jumping past the corner and then lose time because you go into the grass, and it's a whole thing. So game 96, thank you. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I just like remember playing it in, well, probably in the 90s. Now I'm wondering if I still even every once in a while dabbled into it in like the early 2000s, but still. So yeah, it's a whole thing. And yeah, stumbled into it in an abandonware, so I was like, hey, I want to try, and I got it to work, and I'm like, cool. And we win 3.36 seconds before the standard difficulty, meaning it's probably at least pretty fitting to at this stage. So, and there are different cars as well, but I've just always for some reason I always got used to driving the white car. I don't know why. Maybe I felt like I started to get a decent handle of like how it behaves in like contact situations with the AI. And you can also change the AI's car, but that's the default one they drive in with the black and white one. So I feel that's like I let the AI be the default one, and I just choose the car that I find the most, you know, comfortable. Well, the most familiar with. They all have their like. The differences are mostly probably in how they behave in contact and how they roll in the air and the noise they make. So yeah, okie dokie. So indeed, the first level was Nurtsikruising, and now we go into Vesistövedätys. So here we go. And there we are. And here we start on the grass. So we're at a bit of a disadvantage because the grass causes a slow start, which I find to be a bit of an odd thing, but there, see, I had a feeling I would be able to contact my way past the AI there. It's kind of... It's really hard to explain how the like physical contact works in this one. It's sort of like, depending on the angles and so on, the other car sort of hits itself forward from the contact and takes the lead. But it's kind of strange. It's... you have to get a feel for when you are able to like nudge yourself into the front, because it's not always in either or's favor. It's about the like placements and so on, you know. And I know the background is very dark, but I promise this is the daytime. So yeah, I'll do one of the races in nighttime as well. I mean, one of them is by default in nighttime, but I'll do one of the normal races in nighttime as well. Whoops. So let's see here. Here we go. This one is maybe the most familiar track for me, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. As I say that, I'll probably just roll over the car right about now. But yeah, so I'm more familiar with the first half of the levels, but I'm not confident enough to nudge up the difficulty even more. So there we go. You're older than this game, but not by much. I managed to roll the car while winning. That's the goal. but we won. Was true rallyer. Paina avaruusnäppäintä. The draw rate makes it look like racing at the edge of reality. Yeah, it does. It has that feel. Yeah. Okay. Rallycross. Let's do this one at nighttime to make the example here. So in nighttime, all we have is the headlights of the cars against a very like a dark, you know, not quite pitch black, but almost, you know. So here we go. This is going to be interesting. I feel. So here we go. I hope I remember this track well enough to do this. Like, it's actually pretty impressive how, like, this is a mode, because it's very atmospheric to drive this. It's just, you kind of need to know the tracks a little bit to fully do this quite, to appreciate it, if you will. Oh boy. It's actually pretty tough to avoid the slow sand in this track, because some of the spots are really thin. Especially there, like it's barely the width of the car, the normal gravel, and the angle is so weird visually that it's really hard to stay on the correct spot. Here we go. I'm a little worried about rolling the car here, because it can take into the air from the small bumps, and if you're turning while having a bump, you are very much prone to rolling the entire car. It's not an insta death but it will, like, the respawning takes, you know, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, so it's a tough deal. Here we go. And I promise I am not this proficient with the later tracks, so it's gonna be a lot tighter, and I probably won't win every one of them, because the later half of the tracks are more difficult for me by a lot. The difference being mostly that I find the first half of the tracks have a lot less, like, treacherous small bumps in the road, which can, you know, make you overshoot your Lap record, cool. Make you overshoot your turns or roll the car, you know. These have less of those. There's some, but a lot less. There we are. So yeah, it's the control scheme of the game is not complicated. It's just forward, backward, left, and right. But again, throttle control is really important, and rolling the car is also really, really, really easy. So, like there, I hit a couple of weird bumps in the sides, and it took into the air a bit. So, up, whoa, there we go. That was Luckily, I am so much ahead. I can still win this. But yeah, that's what happens. Like one small mistake and it's boom. I just flew into the side and that's it. It might have been a race record otherwise, but there we are. We win. It's really lucky we had a really good start, because that roll was rough. Oof. True rallyer. There we go. Cool. Then let's go back to daytime to appreciate the full graphics detail of the tracks. Yleisö-eko. If I remember right, this one I have oddly managed to create some distance between myself and the AI, but I'm not sure. It's been I haven't played this one in a few weeks though, so you know, since the last stream. So there we go. See, again, I remember that I usually tend to win that physical nudging there. And the AI killed a pedestrian or a spectator. That was the AI. I'm innocent. It's all him. Oh, and the AI. The AI is named Sätkäkone, which translates to it's Finnish, and so Sätkä means cigarette that you roll by yourself, you know, and kone is a machine. So the name is a machine of self-rolled cigarettes. I think it implies like a chain smoker, but that's what it means. I've never heard that word outside of this game, so it's kind of up for interpretation, but that's how I interpret it. Sätkäkone. Here we go. Pretty good lap at the start, less than a minute. Cool, good. Here we go. Let's do this. See about making a hard turn. I was worried that because there's a few bumps in this road that sometimes are a bit treacherous. That's one of them. And there's another one right there that I drove over, but but like again, not every bump makes you fly if you don't full throttle into them. So again, throttle control is important in this one. It seems simple, but it's surprisingly sometimes complex to get it through, like in one piece, if you will. Ooh, that was scary. It started to roll in the air immediately, like yeesh. I've also rolled the car on this straight in a really weird way a few times. It's kind of odd. Here we go. But yeah, in this level, for some reason, the AI seems to be a bit behind me. I don't know really why. like a roughly 3-4 seconds per lap, in a way that it's not in the other ones. I think it eats grass in some spot of the route it takes, because the difference shouldn't be that big. I don't know, because I don't think I'm that good in this level. It's just like there's something in the route the AI is taking, but I wasn't sure. So, oof, that's a treacherous one. There we go. Oof. See, that was almost a rollover right there. See, it's so sensitive. It looks easy, but I promise it's surprisingly not that easy. I mean, it's simple to drive and so on, but you know, in the details, it starts going south really quickly if you enter a bump in a wrong way. Here we go. Come on, come on. There you go. Nice and easy. Oh, and let me know if the sound balance is good or too high or too low or lap record. Awesome. I was hoping to get some lap records, and I'm very happy that we've seen two already. Sounds good. Good. Thank you for the information. I tried to check it before, but you never know. Oof, scary. Oof, again, like surprisingly enough, you cannot turn in the air, you know, in the corners, or you just, let's hope you're not overshooting the corner by jumping. That's the race killer right there. Ooh. And trust me, that overshooting the jumps is going to be a really big issue in the later half of the tracks, because those are really tricksy in that. Really tricksy. And again, I feel confident I can probably compete against standard in all races, but I may not win all of them, because some of the later ones are really hard. Really hard. Here we go. Okie dokie. And nice and tight. There you go. So yeah, I had this idea that, like, while, you know, doing this streaming thing and so on, to sometimes play these like old 90s and so on, you know, nostalgic MS-DOS games I played as a... Sorry. That was an accident. No, I totally didn't mean to. I'm sorry. But I mean, they are too close to the road. What do you expect, man? It's, you know. But yeah, so to play some of these like nostalgic 90s, 2000s, whatever, MS-DOS games, if I happen to still find them somewhere and get them to work, you know, so because there's a fluffy feeling to all of this pixely goodness. Jesus. No fences. Who stands so close to... I know, but trust me, it especially in like the 80s and 90s, it super happened. Like, if you watch like an old rally video of like Corsica or the Sardinian rally or something, whichever, like, or I think some of the Monte Carlo stuff as well, like the stuff that takes place sometimes like in these villages of places, like in some cases the pedestrians like literally just like open up as a sea in front of the car. It's craziness. Like, they are, like, it's madness how close they are sometimes. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, in the 80s, it was just madness. Like, what? Like, people, like, literally, like, open up from in front of the car as the rally car just goes through the crowd. Like, what? I've seen videos of that. It's madness. Like, what? It's crazy. It's not anymore, I think, but back then, jeez. And only 3 people, I think, died. Madness, madness, madness. Yes, absolutely. And the age of the Group B cars and madness. And that madness goes all the way into the spectators as well. Cool. So, who's ready for an ice track? I'm not, but let's try. These are tough, man. The physics on ice are you kinda need to know the track in advance to have a solid shot, or at least try to sense which way the road is turning, because it's yeah. You gotta turn way, way in advance, damn it. Or that happens. Oh, damn. Come on. Ugh. This is, yeah. So, this might be an example of a track I might not win, but we'll see how it damn it. How it goes. Because I'm extremely out of practice, and these you kind of need to know by heart to have a solid shot against standard AI. It is doable, but it's like really, really hard. There you go. Ah! It's such a slowing thing when you get to the outside of the track there. Come on. And try to avoid the mistakes the AI is doing so you can actually capitalize on them. Ah, damn. He's gonna, yeah. I felt he was gonna get past me in that physical nudge, but I felt like I couldn't like think of anything to avoid it anymore, because there's no grip to change your car's like position. Angle, yes, but in that case I felt it wouldn't make a difference. Like, again, it's really hard to explain who wins in which physical confrontation. It's just, you kind of gotta have a feel for it, you know? Like, sometimes you can nudge yourself forward, and other times you can't. Like, see there. And there. Like, see? That's what I mean. Ah. Ah, damn. It's a war zone out there with all the bumping, man. Jeez, come on. And this is like probably the easiest of the ice tracks, so the other ones are much, much harder. There you go. Especially the U-turns, I still am not sure like what's the fastest way to take them. Like, do I hold the gas all the way, or do I like throttle control myself into the apex and then go? It's kind of, I'm not sure. Makes tires squealy noises with his mouth, yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I think we have this, because I don't think this level has any elevation differences, so there's no bumps in this one. It's gonna be like, there's an ice track later with a lot of jumps in it. It's pretty tough. I promise. And a lap record. Cool. I felt like it was a good lap, but I didn't want to say anything yet. That's pretty good. There we go. This one is probably not quite as fast, but it's going decent still. A couple of small mistakes of slightly wide, but nothing like dramatic, you know? Like this U-turn, I always wonder like what's the fastest way to take that turn, for example. And the other one is the one at the end of the lap, or at the beginning here. 38-22. Cool. Good win. Good win. Okay, cool. Oh boy. Yep, I did not forget to put my purple light on. Good. Okay, the end went better than I expected. I grant you, but I promise in some of the tracks it's really tough. Okay, you asked it. Oh, and the other one was very slippery and yleisö eko. So you asked it. Is a track that you can only drive at night. So, and the edges of the track are spectators. It's yeah, it is exactly what it sounds like. This track is pretty interesting. Here we go. This can only go well, it's fine. Sorry. I did not invent this. It's not my fault. Ow. Come on. It's not a super long track, but you do gotta kind of get a feel for how it goes. Lap record, oh damn, really? That was unexpected. I didn't expect it to go that well. I gotta be honest. Sorry. Another lap record. Jesus. Okay. Steady on. Sorry. That's sorry. Another lap record. Oh damn, this is going really well. I just keep on improving. That's crazy. Sorry. Another lap record. Four lap records on in a row. I've never been that consistent. I've never ever been that consistent. Hell yeah. Oh boy. Have you played Star Wars Episode 1 Racer? I have not, no. I've heard of it, yeah, but I haven't played it, no. I've heard it's supposed to be pretty good though. Yeah, they turn into flat textures when you hit them, yeah. I've heard it's really good. Yeah. I probably like if I get a chance, I probably should at some point because I do like most racing games and like I enjoyed the part in the movie. I mean, well, I was pretty young when I saw the movie in the theaters when it was new. And in the movie theater, that pod racer scene was very impressive because it was such a sense of speed and so on, you know? Okay, bumps and jumps is the next one. I have actually I hope I can remember how this goes. It's been a Oh, it's on Steam. Cool. I'll probably need to wishlist that at some point. Sure. Because like I've heard only good things, I believe, which is usually a good thing. So, cool. Bumps and jumps. Let's see how this goes. It's like $3 on sale. Oh, cool. I'll need to keep that in mind then. Okay. let's see how this goes. I feel like I should be able to do this, but the start is a bit rough. From the top of my head, I can't quite exactly remember the details of this one. Like where the bumps are. Is this the one where... Yeah, here. So this jump is treacherous. You have to take it straight. And it's not cutting the track. The AI jumps the exact same way, so it's fine. Okay, come on, let's do this. There's not a lot of good spots to cleanly get past, and then yeah, see, that's an example of overshooting a corner with a jump. See, that's what happens. Here, there, now, oof, damn, there you go. And again, I'll always check the chat between races, because reading it is very tricksy while driving. I'll try to read it while driving, but I often might not be able to. So give us a second, or a couple of hot minutes. Okay. So there's a couple of bumps in this one that might still cause me trouble. And again, see here, like in this track, I don't seem to have quite as much of an edge over the AI. Like, it stays behind, like, in my rear a lot better than in Yleisö Eko, for example. The long, rather similar looking track. Oof. That's a really, really difficult corner because the jump is so big. So being fast there is hard. The pod race still looks good, even if it slams the pace of the movie. Oh, lap record! Wow, that's surprising. I was not expecting that at all. Yeah, I'll check the message in a hot minute. I can't. This is taking a bit too much of my focus here. There's not many easy long straights in which to read. Okay, and there you go. You gotta be careful, like at what spot you jump, so you don't get slowed down by the grass before the jump too much. Okay, so but this jump, so do I like just throttle control myself out of the jump and then do this? Maybe. Yeah, that might be the answer. It felt pretty fast, but I'm not sure how, like, is it a faster way to... It is! Okay, cool. Lap record, yep. Sub 50. There we go. Or at least I assume that I improved on the corner there. Because otherwise... Damn. See, that's how simple it is to mess up. I feel the laps were quite similar otherwise, so... Here we go. There we go. Good jump, good jump, good jump. Okay. And again, try to throttle control yourself into the... Yeah, so there I let go of the gas just before the jump, so it would be a slightly shorter jump, so it wouldn't overshoot the corner. That's the kind of stuff you need to do in this one. It's simple, but you gotta focus on that stuff to do decent. Again, the mistake at the beginning cost me some time, so I'm not really surprised by that. That it's an above 50. Okay. Let's see if we can finish up. Well, oh damn. Yeah, that jump can be treacherous because you can absolutely roll over the car from that. I have done it before. Absolutely have. Here we go. And ooh, that might be a bit long. Oof, okay. I kind of forgot the throttle control just at the edge there, so I was like, oh god. And here we go. Decent. It's a pretty fast lap, but I'm not sure it's a record. It's a pretty tight one. It is. Cool. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Double record again. Hell yeah. I'd say the pod race still looks good, even if it slams the pace of the movie into a Trade Federation space station. Yes, that is true. Like, the first Star Wars... Well, no. It's the fourth movie, but episode 1 Star Wars. It's, Same game seems kind of impressive for 90... or 96, but it in my opinion it is like like the different surfaces do absolutely behave differently, and all the cars have slightly different like physical like properties into the physics and so on. I feel it is very impressive, and it's like there's it looks simple, but the 3D environment still to me is, or the two, you know, that it looks pretty good, you know, or it feels good is my point. Like it's there's a natural feel into the car, into the road that it's kind of hard to explain. I remain impressed by it, and the pixels look cozy. Even numbers mixed up. Yeah, but yeah. So the like Star Wars Episode 1, like it has its moments, but it pacing is one of the problems. I would imagine most people would agree with the movie. Like it's like there's a lot of like Trade Federation something something that just like what are we doing here with these treaties and so on, man. Doom was released 2 years before and wasn't really 3D. Yeah, like I'm not the expert on like what is real 3D and what's not, but yes, you are correct. Yes, I've also heard that Doom is not really 3D, even if it's kind of like a known as a 3D shooter. It's a whole thing. 3 years, right? I actually recently played Doom 64. It's actually kind of holds up in a way. Like I think it's a surprisingly good old school Doom game. Like I actually kind of liked it. Like in the sense that I don't really like old school Doom games. They all have the same issue of not letting you continue without a walkthrough, basically. But with that said, it was pretty cool. Okay, so this would be short and easy, right? Um, the Star Wars prequel trilogy is my personal favorite set of Star Wars movies, but its issues are a bit more noticeable than the OG. Oh, interesting, interesting. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that the first three are their favorite, but I'm not gonna argue if you like them. Like, that's perfectly awesome. Like, I saw the OG ones first, and they remain my favorite, like I would imagine most people would say. But like, if you find episodes 1, 2, 3 to be your favorites, that's cool. I am happy for that fact for sure. I enjoy many moments of those movies. Like I can go into them while driving while I catch up to chat. Someone summed up the plot of episode 1 in a manner that made much more comprehensible, but I don't have it in my head, so to speak. Like, yeah, it has a plot, but I feel like it has some odd pacing issues, and I think the dialogue writing is often a little like the prequels especially kind of feel like the characters sometimes say stuff without um the dialogue comes across as wooden, and it's a lot of tell feelings instead of show feelings, like the love story of episode 2, right? Like, no, it's because I am in so much in love with you. It kind of, it says stuff it should try to convey in a more like an audio visual way instead of just like talk it out. It's kind of but again, it's everyone has their favorites, and that's awesome. So you know, do you like the building ships, etc. of the prequel? Yeah, I think the architecture is one of the strongest points of the prequels. Yes, the world was really cool. Sequels had a bit of a. I'm trying to think of any like memorable world moments from the sequels, like um hold on, there was a desert planet, and then there was the planet with the raging ocean, and then there was another desert planet. Um, then there was the one with the sort of dark ice or something, where the emperor lived, or whatever it was, or a black rock or whatever. Um, Oh, and then there was the casino planet, the Monaco planet with the space horses in 8. Uh, and there was some sort of a city in some planet in 9 where they met the little tinkering creature thing. Yeah, like I remember like Naboo and places a lot better. Or sorry, like the planets and like the environments overall of the prequels at least better than I do the sequel trilogy. Yeah, I'm really struggling. Oh, then there was the one with the snow forest, but they don't really. Like, the places have the capacity to be cool, but they don't really dwell on how cool the places are, in a way that the prequel trilogy, in my opinion, did. Like, I'm not a fan of the writing of the prequels, but I do like the environments of them, for sure. And again, like, Episode 1 has an amazing sword fight, that's so good, between Obi-Wan and, the Darth Maul. That's really, really cool. I mean, and Qui-Gon Jinn as well, but it's like, it's so good. I liked it so much. And I'll catch up the chat in a bit once I reach the finish line. Don't jump too much. Easy, nice and easy, nice and simple. Boom! Lap record, race record. Yes, awesome. Dog attacked your phone. I was wondering, like, what is SHYYTFA short for? Okay, cool. Anakin's story arc over the 3 movies is generally excellent romance subplot, notwithstanding, in no small part because of his entire arc is up by Yoda in episode 1 and comes true purely because the Jedi don't trust him. Right. Like the arc is interesting. I just have issues with the like moment-to-moment writing of that arc, with the love part especially. I do also remember that it was a bit like again, like, since we're talking about movies, honest, friendly opinions, right? Like, it's all good that we love different movies and it's fine, right? But I always felt that there was a bit of a, I don't know, like I need to rewatch episode 3. It's been way, 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 way too many years, and I've seen it like twice ever or something. But I remember liking the movie. I think it's the best one of the prequels in my memory, at least. But I do feel that Anakin's arc had a really odd jump in, at least in my memory, of like jumping into murdering children. Like he's like angsty, 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 and then mom dies, kills some enemies in some random planet, and then just like murder children. Like, okay, like that, I I think that escalated a little bit right at the some part there in the, like rather like suddenly, like, oh, I always felt it a bit abrupt, but beyond that, I feel the arc is interesting. Yes. Crate was kind of cool, but it had very little screen time. I do not remember which place was Crate. Help me out here. To be honest, Qui-Gon is flat out one of my favorite characters in the franchise, and they killed him. Yeah, I liked him too. He was really good in the movie. I felt his charisma carried a lot of the sillier moments of episode 1. Like, like he like anchored the movie into somewhat sensible while they were in the silly Jar Jar Binks land underwater. uh, I think George Lucas has admitted that he isn't very good at dialogue. Yeah, I would believe that. Yeah, it's a little wooden sometimes and like too explainy in some senses. Start sharpening knives. Yep. Escalate quickly. Yes. I can't recommend the Cinema Wins episodes of Star Wars enough. Oh, right. I like I have issues with like almost all Star Wars movies, but I enjoy most of them. I feel the only one I had trouble sitting through was 2 because of the romance subplot was so cringe to me. It's but there's other cool parts in the movie. Like I like the fun parts in the city before and the with when Obi-Wan like mind tricks the death sticks seller in the bar and so on. Um but yeah, like I don't really like hold pitchforks and so on about any of the Star Wars movies per se, and especially in the sequels, I my expectations were kind of like level because I had already experienced the super hype before the prequels, and many were disappointed by that. So like, let's just see if they make fun movies. And for the most part, they're at least fun movies. They have issues for sure, especially because they have really, really, really odd like turns in directional what are we trying to tell with our story here? Like it's not a coherent trilogy in how it's trying to approach the overall story, which kind of shows. But they have their strengths in as movies anyway. Like, and to the point that they're polarizing enough that most people have many people have different answers on which of the sequel movies is their favorite. Some say 7, some say 8. Not many say 9, but and the inverse of people liking or not liking 8 is very stark. Like some people really love it because of the themes and the messages it has, and others really hate it because it takes such a sharp turn from what the other one set up at first, and doobly doobly doobly. It's okay. So this is the in the dust level. Okay, now we're entering territory where winning is by no means a foregone conclusion because these are difficult. Liked certain moments in 9. I liked some moments in 9. I liked the very intro with the fighty parts with the young bad man. Ben Solo, yeah. I forget the moniker name, but Like it has its moments, yes. It's it just I did find the Emperor part a bit like, I mean, come on. Okay, see what I mean? This is very likely we're not gonna win this one. Because these remain really, really difficult. Okay. Try and focus. But yeah, I don't really remember this by heart too well, so it's gonna have some problems here. Really, really difficult. Come on. Okay, let's see if we can improve on this. The dust part of the snow is actually really difficult because it also means I'll be driving blind if I get close to the AI in the snow, so it's actually really difficult to do this. Other than that, the snow behaves quite similarly to gravel, but it is more, how can I put this? It feels kind of softer to drive through in a way. It's kind of hard to explain. And again, I'll read the chat when I'm done. I promise I will catch up. Just give me a... This requires focus for sure. I still have a chance, but I do need to really succeed in the next laps too, because again, getting past the AI in the snow is very difficult for the reasons I explained. It's because driving blind behind the AI because of the dust or the snow cloud. Okay. Okay, cool. I'd love to get past the AI in the ice part, because that would make my life easy. Damn it. Easier, but that's, yeah. Easier said than done. See, this is what I mean. It's really hard to know where I'm going with this. Come on. Come on. Okay. There. Oh, boy. Damn. That's game. See? I told you I would not win all of these, and well, prophecy fulfilled. There we go, but I'll just do one per track at least at the beginning, so. And yeah, the AI pulled off a race record anyway, so it drove a really good good race. Missed a few gears. Oh sure. Um, Liked 8 decently enough, but no real love. 7 was in my mind way too blatant of a fan service retreat. Of 4 for you to enjoy it. 9 was messy, but a bit too densely packed. That's not a bad way to describe them. Yeah, was a retread of the entire OT, not just 4. But the OT can retread on similar ground itself. Yeah, that's pretty fair to say. Yeah, tight one, but not this time. But yeah, I'll do one per track at least for now, and then we'll see. But yeah. So I th I have a bit of a similar thing because I do feel that 7 was such a point by point retread of 4 to me as well that I kind of found it a like borderline unoriginal. But then 8 took such weird directions for my taste and to like okay, so I don't I dislike 8 for really weird logic reasons in the movie, and I'm confused by the sudden switch in the like Ray is someone, Ray isn't someone, and Ray is someone again. Like 8 is trying so hard to like throw a middle finger at the like previous movie in how it was trying to like set up stuff that I kind of found it. I can respect doing your own thing, but it's felt borderline disrespectful in a weird way. But at the same time, I super enjoyed the idea that anyone can be special with the Force. That's a good message, but it wasn't the message that Seven was setting up, and it just clearly went into a different direction than what was being set up with a rather like an almost disrespectful like a screech. And I wasn't a fan how they handled Luke in 8 either, and I think I'm under the impression that Mark Hamill, the actor, also wasn't comfortable with how the character was portrayed in 8. Like, you know, we hadn't seen Luke for many years, but he came across like this doesn't seem right. It's the I don't know. Then again, it has some of the coolest moments in the entire series, like the light speed jump kamikaze thing is like, mwah, like it. I realize it kind of breaks the, or it was a very risky break from like, well, what's the point of space battles anymore if this is an option? Like, just have one guy kamikaze and win everything, right? But for that moment, it was visually stunning to look at, though. Like, it was so cool looking. Like, damn, son. And 8 has, like, the weirdest pacing with, like, why did we go to Monaco planet with the space horses? I'm like, but the part that bothered me the most about 8 was the entire setup of the chase sequence. I realize it's not science fiction as much as it's science fantasy. I know, like, suspension of disbelief, we are in the place with the magic force and so on. Fine. But I found it really strange how the entire setup of these two ships can only stay this far away from each other as they chase. The slow chase didn't work for me. Like, it made no sense. Like, especially if the kamikazing with a light speed was an option, then just why not send one of the Empire fighters to do that? And then you can also attack the ships with the other fighters, but not get closer with the other stuff, and then that still wouldn't work because reasons. But most importantly, they didn't explain the thing well of why we have to do this, because the line that they say about the problem is, quote, the good guy ships are lighter than we are, and that's why they can't catch them with the Empire dreadnoughts and whatever. Being lighter doesn't mean anything in space. It's all about the momentum of what you create into the mass that you are. Your actual mass, if you are in space, doesn't really make a difference into how fast you can go at that point. Like, unless you are constantly going through some massive gravitational pulls of the other planets, it doesn't make a difference which one of the two ships is lighter or heavier. That's not an issue. But they give that as the issue, and I'm like, no. That doesn't work. When the entire main setup of the movie doesn't make any sense to me, like, that's not how it would, it just, it didn't hold together like its thing for me, you know? So yeah. Shinies, yes. Like Yoda was never someone far as we know, and we know that neither Qui-Gon or Obi-Wan was someone, so I preferred Rey being no one, and yeah, Luke felt weird in Lightspeed. Yeah. Thrust to weight ratio is what matters. Right, like, the point being, like, if you are in outer space and can create thrust, it doesn't really matter which one of the items is lighter. It's not the same thing as two cars on Earth, where the mass of the car will make a difference into the speed and so on. Came for the most cutting-edge rally game, but don't mind the opinion on sci-fi. Well, that's good. And hello, Whiskers. Honestly, my biggest problem with 8 was that the entire rebellion could be fit on the Falcon at the end. Like, you can't fight a war with tops 20 people and one piece of junk. That's fair. Yeah. Does F not equal MA in space? Like, if, as far as I understood the physics of like what difference mass makes in space, is that if one item, like, let's say one item weighs 1 kilogram, or, you know, and the other one weighs like 5 kilograms, and you manage to, like, use up fuel and so on to create enough thrust to, you know, make them go forward. It's about the force of the thrust, not about the weight of the item to begin with. Like, if you if this is floating in space, the speed it's floating in space is determined by the thrust that is, like, pushed into it, because there is no force outside of the item to significantly pull it anywhere in relation with its mass, you know? So basically, like, if you poke at a 5 kilogram item and a 10 kilogram item in space, where there's, like, no gravitational pull into them from, like, a nearby Earth or whatever, the speed they go forward with is the same, at least in practical terms. Not maybe completely exactly, but so close the difference is negligible. So if both ships have the same thrust, the lighter ship will accelerate faster. I'm not even convinced that's the case. Because, again, what is the force outside of the ship that makes the weight of the ship matter? Like, if there is no gravitational pull, like we are in space, you know? Yeah, but, like, Clank, so, like, I'm kind of like, because if the weight of the right, well, I mean that, like, at the point of I had this, like, research at some point. It's been way too long. I might be remembering the details wrong. Why? but I do remember that it didn't make sense that the lighter ship at the point of the chase, as they can then go equal speed, didn't really make the difference. Blah. It's weird. I could be wrong on that, on how the details go up, but I probably am, because physics, at least anymore, is kind of rusty on my part. But I don't, like, it's just, it doesn't sound right. Let's put it that way. Like, I've had these like momentum things in space movies before, where like some physicist on like Neil deGrasse Tyson or someone has explained why it wouldn't go this way, because all you need is a small nudge to change the direction of this and that, because so and so. So it's kind of like but like the way they explained it in the movie is that the like whatever is the, you know, weight, or I think they used the word lighter, and they are not the same thing as cars on Earth in that sense. So the scenario of the chase itself didn't make physics sense to me. I'd need to research it again if the physics, like what the exact details of it were, but I'm pretty sure it didn't make physics sense. And by that I stand by. I might be wrong on the details why it doesn't make sense, but I don't think it made sense. Oops. Like the chase scene, like the entire premise of the movie is that the big Empire ship or ships and the other almost, well, smaller but still big rebel ships keep going keep going right, and they keep going at the same speed, and the reason they give to why they can't catch them is because the rebel ships are lighter, and I don't think that makes physics sense. I don't think that makes a difference in that scenario, unless you are going through really, really heavy gravitational pulls. Like, you might have the same speed for some other reason, like that's the max speed you can pull off in space because of reasons, like without going to light speed. But at that point, it should no longer make a difference, like which is like lighter in terms of speed. Acceleration maybe, and maneuverability maybe, yes, but speed in terms of like how fast they can go should not be an issue with that. But yes, acceleration, yes, but top speed, not really, yes. I think that's how it was. So the reasoning why was like, that doesn't work to me. But in any case, that's not like the only part I found odd in the, like, I was also, again, 8 is a very, like, the other weird part in, like, I was also very, I realized this is a very small thing in 8, but the beginning bombing scene was very confusing to me. Like, if I remember correctly, they were bombing like was that a dreadnought then? Like, they had this like bombing scene where there was like the bombs behaved like gravity would pull them like within the atmosphere from the sky, but they were in orbit of the planet, right? But the bombs still dropped like they would be in World War II, and I'm like, right? Which might still work if they're close enough to the planet, but the problem is when they open the bombing sort of room to the open atmosphere, there's no difference. Like it doesn't go out into a like it doesn't create a massive, huge wind or a vacuum problem into the room. So like we're in orbit or orbit-ish, and when we open the doors, it doesn't. We can just be here, and we're not gonna get sucked out into the void of the opened doors. It was like what is the like it felt like it tried to be a World War II visual while being while being in space for no quite fitting. It felt like something in my spine was ticking. Like that doesn't feel right. Something's wrong with that. I don't. So so again, it's a lot of like physics feels off in this movie. And I also but in terms of like storytelling, the Rose subplot was also very well. The resolution of it was kind of confusing to me, and we lost again. We just couldn't catch. We just couldn't catch like the AI. It was just too quick. Oh boy, give us a minute. I'll need to catch up on the chat. I can't move out from this screen too well, so I might miss some of the things. Excuse to prevent the rebels from getting creamed across time and space. The joule is a driver of human energy in the international system. It's equal to the energy transfer force of 1 Newton acts on that object in the direction of the force's motion 3/10 of 1 meter. We're both accelerating at basically the same rate, so we can't get in range to damage their shields. Well, I forget the complete, like all of the dialogue is not in my brain, but they do say faster and lighter or something. Like they say the word lighter. I promise they do say the word lighter because I heard it later on, like a YouTube compilation of the scene while I was like wondering about it. Like they do say lighter, but I'm just saying that the moment felt like the entire premise of the main section of the movie I couldn't swallow it because it didn't make sense to me. One, because of the reasons why, and second, so you couldn't like jump a little bit further with the light speed thing, and as we then made the light speed thing into a huge weapon, you're telling me the Empire couldn't like send one of the smaller ships to light speed through the enemy and kill all of them? Like it doesn't seem like something they wouldn't, like why not? No, not TIE fighters, but some of their smaller ships can though. That's the thing. Not TIE fighters, but some of the other smaller ships can. Like they were carrying other stuff as well. Like I'm saying they probably had something. Rebels had like 3 ships and was heading in a desolate planet, so the Empire wasn't exactly in a hurry. Empire in a hurry doesn't really land for me because they the Empire does want to catch them, and the like leaders are like, why are we not making any ground to them and so on, and the lower people have to like make their excuses of the lighter and so on. So it's the hurry part doesn't quite make sense to me. I have to admit, like they did want to kill them, so you know. Uh, the bombing could have been totally legit if the dreadnought was not in orbit. It's a little. I felt that the bombs didn't. I felt that either the bombs couldn't fall like that, or at least the opening of the doors at the bottom of the bomber should have created like a huge gust of air that like was a lot more than just a stiff wind, and it didn't, and it just didn't do the thing. I don't know. I think the bombers were supposed to have energy shields that contained the atmosphere, but wasn't clear. Oh, that could explain it, yes. That could explain it, yes. It just wasn't, like, there wasn't such a, yeah, in the movie. But, like, I don't know, like, the extended lore, you know? I haven't researched it. I feel like picking on that equation on a sci-fi with space magic. Originally, I think hyperspace jumps are imprecise. Maybe. Hard to jump on top of someone. But then they did the light speed skipping or whatever. Hold on. When you say that they are going into a different dimension and shortcuts and so on, then is it like hold on, honest question, because I don't understand this then, because like remember the scene where the purple haired admiral lady played by the lady from Jurassic Park, when she lightspeed kamikazes her way through the Empire ships. If there's a different dimension involved, then how does she hit the ships that's in front of, because she did? I'm confusion. I don't know. That's part of why it breaks the universe. Oh, okay, like, I think they explained the kamikaze away in 9 by saying something like, it's a 1 in a million chance, and they just, like, never mentioned it again. I'm like, okay. Like, again, the kamikaze moment looked cool. I had so many questions after that. I was like, how do you... But yeah, this is what like debating Star Wars movies like goes into. It's a lot of like this well, but on the other hand stuff, and that's, you know, it's in a way it's part of the fun, you know. But I do need to research again the physics details of the space chase, because I feel like I googled that my criticism of this wouldn't work is fair, but I probably forgot the details of how it worked, because the acceleration part actually probably I got wrong. Now that I think about it again. But the top speed one shouldn't be. It's physics stuff. Here we go. Oh, right. But continuing with the, since we're talking about 8 again, the pacing with the space horses was like, why did we go into the Monaco? Because we didn't really like further the plot in any way. We found an imposter that did nothing, and then for no reason. I'm like, oh, okay. Why did we spend half an hour in this place for like nothing? But the Rose subplot I found, like, so at first I really liked Rose for like most of the movie, because I thought she was fun in like when she was introduced. I thought the scene with her like stunning Finn unconscious was fun, and it was like, it just it had a jovial humor to it, and I enjoyed it, and she was fun. But so here's the thing. This is like a crap. This is like a personal kind of an odd emotional trauma, if you will, of mine, because even as a person who is now alone and unlucky in love and so on, I have had these situations earlier in life where I was a young goth boy in the goth circles who had some attention from some women that I could not answer, if you will. And I found it super, super anxiety creating because I was so scared of hurting anyone by letting them down. So I find it creates anxiety for me when I see a situation where someone is pushing themselves onto someone else, in like an emotional sense, if that makes sense. So the kiss at Finn felt like pushing herself onto someone rather unwantedly, and I was really off put by that. And the scene that led to it was also odd. I didn't want Finn to die. Don't get me wrong, but he had a sensible plan of sacrifice of trying to save everyone. And the line that Rose gives for preventing that, whatever it was, we save the world or whatever, not by sacrificing but saving the ones we love or something. But it's yeah, and now the Empire is coming and we all die because you wanted a kiss. And I'm like, I don't understand, because she didn't know by that point that Luke would come in and save them. I'm like, I didn't get it. Why did it? I was confused. That scene really huh? But before that, I liked Rose. So just to make sure that that's the route there. But that was huh. I was I was both off put by the emotional pushing on, and the logic was of preventing the sacrifice because platitude sentence. I'm like, Still, 8 has really cool, great moments. It just, the overall narrative is so... I'm not a fan of that at all. To be fair, maybe things go boom because you're halfway between real space and hyperspace. I don't know. Maybe that's why it's so hard to actually hit something. Maybe. Post-speculation, because eye candy. Yes. There's also the possible undertone of sexual assault is bad when men do it, but okay when women do it. I didn't really want to... I don't... See, there's a couple of different ways to, right, that is, it should be wrong on both ways, yes. There's also something to be, of course, said, that the scene is kind of yeah, maybe he was cool with it, I don't know, but I felt it was, pushing onto him, but, I am absolutely not blind to the fact that over the decades there's been movies upon movies upon movies upon movies upon movies upon movies where men push themselves into giving a kiss into women, and it's just the normal Hollywood stuff. I know. I'm just saying I don't like that in any sense. And I didn't like it there either, even as it was, you know, reversed with the genders and gender roles, if that makes sense. So it's just like, again, all balanced and everything, right? It's just, ugh. There we go. Ah. Good God, these are difficult though. That much I have to admit. Oh boy, oh boy. Damn, again, you don't see where your car is, and you end up with that problem. Okay, I gotta focus a lot here, because this is like maybe the hardest track in the game. Like, you gotta really know where to turn beforehand to have any shot in this. I have a couple of tricks that I have memorized off this layout, but only a couple, so it's really hard. Okay. Here we go. Oh boy. Again, the physics of bumping into each other is really hard to, like, you just gotta get a feel for it. Lap record. That's actually a little surprising, I have to admit. But like, for the longest time, the AI had the lap record from standard difficulty, because I have so much trouble with this track. But again, I hope no one's blood is boiling from the Star Wars talk. It's that's the beauty of the polarizing nature of the movies, that we all have our different opinions on like why something works and why something doesn't, and so on and so forth. And again, I have my issues with 8. I still enjoyed my theater experience with the movie. I just, for the moments that were cool, but it's just like, you know, I had the story issues that were quite heavy with it. Gutgenwalter, hi, welcome. I am the usual is probably the best answer, but at least, you know, I'm here, so, you know, that's something, right? Meaning the usual isn't really good, but, you know. That was a pretty quick turn for it. Have I shaved your face? I think I shaved my mustache a little bit ago. Beard, not so much. So it might look a little weird. To be fair. Oof. To be far right. Do 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 do. Oof. I have a feeling that this lap might be really fast, or I might be just imagining it, so I'm trying to focus. Okay, this turn is really hard to get really quick. Lap record, oh yeah, hell yeah.
Have some Sammy bits to get you some foods, or non-foods.
Clank! But... 500. Jesus. You don't have to. You know you don't have to. It's I just do this for the to to have a bit of a kind of a social experience or some. Thank you. Seriously.
Objection!
No. Kytkinhuolto. Thank you for gifting Clank with a subscription. You you don't have to. It's okay, but thank you. I promise. Like I stream so rarely, and I do it just to like get my like have something to do that like occupies the mind, and I get to talk to people a little bit about stuff, and it's better than sitting and staring at a wall and thinking how life sucks. So plus doing some old school nostalgic MS-DOS for myself and for the peoples. Objection! Yeah. Fine, exactly. Okay, Han gave Leia non-consensual crystal. Yes, like again, as Whiskers said, it's been done the other way around too. But I mean, I'm just not a fan of the non-consensual kisses to in any sense. So, yes, don't kiss people that don't want it. Yes, or like make sure they want it before you go for it, or not the usual. Yes, like I shaved my because see a few days ago I just had the like I've kind of let my outlook go, but the mustache was like it was getting messy to eat basically, and I grabbed the trimmer and I was like, okay, so do I just like try to make it a little bit and then it'll grow back really quickly again to be the same problem, or fine, whatever. So that's that's that. Got at least 100 hours of entertainment out of you, so 5 hours. 100. Oh, damn. That's crazy to think about that someone's ever watched me so much. Like, I can't understand that. Guess what I got a couple of days ago? A new gaming console? That's my best guess if you want to guess. Montu Crossi is the next stage. Okay, let's do this. And sound, thank you. Between Witcher 3, Ace Attorney, and weird Finnish games, there's a lot to watch. I will concede it's a lot, but I will not claim it's high quality. At least from my end. The games are, but oh boy. Again, my memory of how this track goes is really bad, so this is gonna be a toss-up of, like, if it goes well or no. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, not super complicated, but there's a couple of really bad jumps in there that can roll the car over, so... Doobly-doo! See, like, that jump is... That's a run killer, for sure. There you go. Tight turn, tight turn. Here we go. Do. Let's just try to get this over with. But yeah, so So yeah, all those issues with 8, but again, how 7 was such a copy-paste of 4, I found it off-putting just because of that. Again, fun moments, but overall, like, eh. And 9 was just... it felt rushed and messy and stitchy and so on. But again, with cool individual moments, so... I'm actually not sure which of the sequels is my favorite movie. That's actually really hard to say. Because I have grave issues with all of them, but the issues are very different per movie. Damn. That's probably race right there. I told you there's a lot of jumps here that will ruin the race for you, for sure. Do 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 do. Come on. These later half tracks are really hard. Like really small. Fuck. This is going really well. I feel we have a strong streak going here. Like, see, like it's really easy to roll over the car in this one. The game is a lot harder than it seems. Technical problems, yes. Warcraft 1 and 2. Oh, cool. Natal showed up on my Twitch year in review thing. Yeah, that's something like 450 hours watching it. Oh, cool. The AI is sneaky. Oh, yes. Never saw 9 and 3. Okay. Your ego is severely damaged by your lack of absolute enthusiasm for each and every Star Wars film. Yes. 9 felt that the director tried to compress his ideas for 8 and 9 into the same movie. Yes, and at the same time, like, retcon the things that, like, 8 stepped away from the ideas of 7 from. Like, again, the heritage one being an example of that. Like, Rey is special, Rey is no one. No, Rey's grandparents, therefore Rey, like they were really like wrestling with the direction through the trilogy, which shows, and the trilogy suffers for that fact. For sure. Asfalttibana. Cool. Let's do this. Your car must have pyrotechnics in it rigged to go off when you roll over, yeah. Also read all of the Dune except for like the last 6 pages. Oh. I haven't read any Dune, but I don't really read a lot. Like, I've read just, I've read like almost all of Edgar Allan Poe except for the one longest story, and almost all of H.P. Lovecraft, and like 20 plus fantasy books and some other stuff, but like, yeah. Not a huge reader beyond that. Reading is very taxing for me for some reason. I find like I should get into audiobooks at some point, because it's just the stories themselves are obviously cool. Stories are cool. Hot take. So okay, so there's a lot of asphalt in this one, or what looks like, stone, whatever, but it's called asphalt, so we're gonna just go with it. There's a lot of really weird jumps in this one, which caused you to like overshoot the corners and so on, so it's surprisingly difficult to keep this together. Like, I obviously have a solid shot, but again, one rollover and it's done, so let's see. Not my fault. That was the AI. That's not me. I'm innocent. Completely innocent. Huh? There we go. That's a tight difference for sure. There we are. See, it's that simple. Sätkäkone. I know. I explained the translation before. It's kind of hard to translate though, but yeah, there we go. It's I have never before or after heard that combination of words anywhere other than in this game. But it still makes sense, but it's just like, huh, okay. So yeah, rolling over the car is very costly, as one might expect. If I drive absolutely perfectly, I might still have a shot at catching up. We'll see. But I was expecting to not win, like, more than half of the races, because the right half of the races the tracks are crazy difficult. And again, I will catch up with chat once I've crossed the finish line. It's kind of like I try to read the smaller comments that I can in the straights, but I can't really focus on anything longer while driving because this takes a lot of concentration. Come on. And let's not get greedy with catching up yet, because one mistake will roll over the car again, you know? Just try to drive smart. That wasn't smart. I nudged myself past the AI, but it also caused me to hit the jump way too quickly, and then that overshot the corners. That's the kind of stuff you deal with in this. Okay, now let's try to not mess up the bumps here. Like, again, it's not as simple as just hold the accelerator in and go, like, because if you do that, you're gonna overshoot the corners with the jumps, and if you try to turn at the same time with the jumps, then you roll the car over, and it's sometimes really hard to get a feel for, like, where's a bump that'll roll your car. It's oof. Throttle control is actually really important in this, especially in the later half of the tracks, which we are in, so. Like, throttle control yourself into the jumps and make sure you jump completely straight, because otherwise it's crazy risky. And sometimes it's just hard to see what bump will toss your car in the air, so. Like, that jump is probably the hardest one in this track right there. Because you're kind of at an angle on that part, and you're easily getting in the air, and that was a weird combo of bumps, damn. Like, I couldn't turn the car there because I was constantly, like, jumping into the oh damn. go. There's a jump just before the rock again there, which I had to throttle control myself through. Otherwise, I would have gone in air, and that would be bad. Boom. Got about 200 pages into the Necronomicon collection. I have that one. I read through it, yeah. But man, some of them are just not that great. I got tired of Scariest Things just being unknowable horror. I enjoyed all of them. Like, I would not presume to, like, review Lovecraft's work because the quality of the language is so beyond, like, what I can produce. So I just liked them, is the long and short of it. They are very similar in theme, that's true, but I was into that shtick, so it's fine. But it is true that they are, like, most of Lovecraft's stuff is unknowable horror. That is his main thing. There's also at least one where the horror of the story is about the well, there's a couple of, like, quasi sort of body horror-ish things where in well, I mean, there's the Shadow over Innsmouth stuff, or Innsmouth, where the shtick is that they learn that the townspeople are, like, half fish, so they're, like, descended from some sort of fish creatures, and it's really like, And then there's another one where there's no unknowable horror in it, but the horror of the story is that the protagonist, like, learns about his, like, family history, about stuff and madness and whatever, and eventually through clues and whatever, it, like, dawns on him that, like, a couple of generations, like a grandfather level or something, that from their father's side, the parent is just a gorilla that looks kind of like a man but is just a gorilla, and it's like drives them mad, and like it's like they are like literal products of, like, animal crossbreeding with humans. It was that I remember that one quite well, and I think there's one that's about, like, a sci-fi city and a labyrinth and something. Yeah, the racist undertone in that is not lost on me, but it's so animal, like, it's so hard into animal horror of mixing species that it's so deep into it that it almost stops like, it's so blatantly that if it would be taken as racist, that I didn't realize to even get bothered by it, because I don't think that story mentions skin color. It's just about the animal stuff, if that makes sense. But he was racist, yes. Bad racist, cool stories. Yes. It's so overt that it's just almost unreal. Yes, that's the... Yes. That's what I was, like, trying to... Yeah. It was hard to articulate into the human people words. Yeah. Closest I've gotten to Lovecraft is Bloodborne. Kinda Amnesia and the Dark Descent. Yeah, there is that. I'm trying to think, like, I mean, I've played a number of Lovecraft games, like a couple. Some on YouTube as well. And when you're aware of how much of a raging white supremacist he is, it's hard not to cringe really hard at some of the racist undertones. Yes, this is true. This is, like, I read them long enough ago that I didn't know about the racist undertones as a thing, and I was so, I suppose, innocent in reading the stories as just stories that I didn't pick up on that stuff. So it didn't like, this was a long time ago when I read them, though. Like, so So it didn't bother me then, but later I was like, oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah, yes. Yeah, humans will like monkeys. What could that refer to? Yeah, some folks are more okay with separating the art from the artist line from the boards. There's plenty of artists that find enjoy support the ones that aren't morally reprehensible. Yeah, yeah. Like I can. It is a perfectly valid thing that some people feel it's not possible to separate the art from the artist, and some do, and that's we all have our approaches to that. I just like bad racist, cool stories. That you know, I find Lovecraft horror to be cool, and bad racism is bad. Was considering the Sinking City, but it wasn't on Steam, and I couldn't be. Oh, right. Yeah, I played it on. Hold on. Yeah. I think I have it somewhere around here. Give us a minute. It's a little too far. Give it. I'll dig it out at some point. But I did do it on stream. I have it as a physical Xbox copy somewhere in my pile here. So yeah. I enjoyed The Sinking City. It has a lot of issues. It's a very Eurojank average like game, but it has a lot of heart. Like the love of the material shows and it looks cool, but it does stretch itself a little too thin in trying to be as big as it is. Like it like copy pastes its design a lot. But it is still a cool game, and it plays well enough to enjoy it for sure. Tough not really critically when that's kind of how you're trained. Yeah, sure. E.g. for the gods, Morrissey and Manson come to mind. I never really listened to Manson or yeah, I don't. Those weren't really my main things because most of my music back in my high school days was like Finnish metal, and by the time I listened to more gothic stuff, it was like a lot of like German electro body goth music, if you will. So the Manson stuff never really landed on me. I was never a big Manson guy, or so on. Define a genre which I'm grateful for. If I had Netflix, I'd probably enjoy Lovecraft Country. I have not watched Lovecraft Country. I probably should. Crappy precision shot with controllers, so the PS4 is not an option for me. Do I like symphonic metal? I might. I enjoyed it a lot as a teenager, and like I was a big fan of Nightwish way back in the teenager years, and Within Temptation was pretty good, and what was like the Nightwish is good. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, especially the older stuff was really my thing. Okay, this is I think is the final track of the of the game. Oh yeah, speaking of Nightwish, oh boy, I'm pretty sure that wasn't me that ran over a spectator. Speaking of Nightwish, I believe recently the long bearded bassist Marko Hietala said that he's like basically retiring from the band and so on. I think his reasons were not like an issue with the band. It was like he had some sort of a grievance with how the economics of music creating are like unfair toward the creator or something, and he was like tired of it or something like that. they've been going forever. Yeah, this is true. Although there's not many of the original people in the band anymore, though. Like, there's Tuomas and was Emppu Vuorinen still in it, I think, as well. I think everyone else has been switched around at least once or twice. Like, the vocalist, the bassist, the drummer. And then the bassist became a vocalist when Marco came in, and so on and so on. Well, I mean, like a side vocalist, you know. This is not going well. This also might be the hardest track in the game. Okay, focus time. We will not win because the AI is just crushing this one, but we might still salvage some. Yeah, like lap record every time. Like what? But we might still salvage some pride. I don't know if I have a 45-second lap time in me though. Like the standard difficulty is in some levels is like crazy difficult. But I didn't want to like keep changing it for the sake of like trying to win specific races because I had no memory or really not even full knowledge of like in which tracks the AI is really difficult and where it isn't, so we'll just make do. Yeah, the snow is kind of odd to drive on in this. It's not super slippery, which is good, but it does take some getting used to, though. Epica is still going strong. Again, lap record. Yeah, it's just like, cool. Cool story, bruh. I'm unsure if I'll be able to like fix that lap record with my own driving ever, because that's so much faster than I am, like 4 seconds per lap. Like, Jesus, man. That's crazy. But that's part of the challenge, that you're just not gonna be good enough to win every time. Okay. Focus, focus, focus. I'm just trying to like save some face here, and I'm trying to like get a couple of like not terrible lap times into the game here. But like, yeah, the skill difference in this one is just staggering. But then again, even modern rally games have horrible like unbalanced AI. So, like, remember Dirt Rally 2, where the difficult AI is literally unbeatable and they are faster than the fastest drivers in the world. Off screen. Like, okay. Cool. So, that's not new. Like, yeah, I have no idea if I will ever be able to get a 45 something as a lap time. That is just madness. I'm sure it's probably possible, but probably not with my skill set though. Oh, and my lap time didn't count for some reason. That's nice. That's lovely. I'm wondering why. Like, there might be a really weird what counts and what doesn't with that one weird jump at the end of the ice part, but I'm not sure. That's pretty BS though, I have to admit. Like here, like this might be the issue that it's like didn't somehow like my way of jumping through that, but it gave me the other ones, so I don't know. That's odd. I think I've had that happen like once before. And it's really I have trouble finding the consistency there. Oh well. Hopefully this time it at least counts. Yeah. I lost only by a minute, it's fine. A little disappointed in Nightwish's last two albums. I haven't listened to the last few albums of Nightwish. I kind of fell off Nightwish when Annette Olson became the vocalist. And I never really came back for Floor Jansen because I just like moved on to different genre. Like I still like the genre is still fine, but it's just I wasn't invested enough to really get into it anymore by that point. Cool. So that's every track once driven. So if you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe, and I hope you've enjoyed. And come live, join because it's fun. Yes, good one. See you next time.